you ready?
Okay,
First
ready.
thing you do is you're going to do your put your seatbelt on. You're going to double check your seatbelt. Cannot be cut, frayed, or torn. You can find the end. Okay. And you shouldn't have to fight with it. And much latch and unlatch properly. Okay, this one is a little frayed. You're going to have to keep a close eye on it. Okay, remember, whatever truck you're doing a pre-trip on, you're pre-tripping that truck as if you're going out in it. Alright, so I'm going to do a safe start. I'm going to double check my spring brakes, make sure they're applied. Clutch in, neutral, leave the clutch in, and start the truck. Okay? Now, in order to start my first brake test, I'm going to double check and make sure I have enough air pressure. My air pressure is at 125, and that's in its normal range. So the first brake test we're going to do is our parking spring brake test. So I'm going to secure the vehicle in first gear, pull to apply my parking spring brake, push to release my emergency spring brake. I'm going to ease up the clutch till I feel a lug on the engine. About that lug, the vehicle did not move, therefore the parking spring brake is passed its test. Now I'm going to do a reset. I'm going to pull to apply my parking spring brake, pull to apply my emergency spring brake, put the vehicle in neutral, ease off the clutch, feet flat on the floor. Now we're going to move on to our emergency spring brake. I'm going to secure the vehicle into first gear. I'm going to pull to apply my emergency spring brake, push to release my parking spring brake. I'm going to ease off the clutch till I feel a lug on the engine. About that lug, the vehicle did not move, therefore the emergency spring brake has passed its test. Now I'm going to do a reset. Pull to apply my emergency spring brake, pull to apply my parking spring brake, put the vehicle in neutral, ease off the clutch, feet flat on the floor. Now I'm going to do my trailer service brake. I'm going to secure the vehicle in first gear. I'm going to hover my foot over the brake, push to release my parking spring brake, push to release my emergency spring brake, pull down on the Johnson bar, remove my foot, I'm hovering. I'm going to ease off the clutch till I feel a lug in the engine. I felt that lug, the vehicle did not move, therefore the trailer service brake or Johnson bar has passed its test. Now I'm going to re-hover, release my brakes. I'm going to do a reset. Pull to apply my parking spring brake, pull to apply my emergency, put it in neutral, ease off the clutch, feet flat on the floor. Now I'm going to do my combination service brake test. I'm going to secure the vehicle in first gear. I'm going to hover my foot over the brakes. I'm going to release my parking spring brake, release my emergency spring brake, remove my foot from the brake. I'm going to let the vehicle roll 10 to 15 feet, 3-5 miles an hour. We're going to do clutch, hands, brake. Okay? My vehicle did not pull left or right, stopped in a straight line, so therefore the vehicle has passed the combination service brake test. If for some reason it pulled left or right, that would mean there's a brake adjustment needed, alignment needed, shift and load, low tire, or possible other things. Now I'm going to do a reset. Pull to apply my parking spring brake, pull to apply my emergency spring brake, neutral, feet flat on the floor. Now we're going to move on to our system link. I'm going to secure the vehicle in first gear. I'm going to reach down and shut the vehicle off. I'm going to ease off the clutch. Okay, I'm going to push to release my emergency spring brake, or parking spring brake, push to release my emergency spring brake. I'm going to let the hissing sound stop. I'm going to apply firm, steady pressure for 1 minute, and in that minute I should not lose more than 4 psi. and a combination or 3 psi in a bobtail or straight truck. My pressure seems to be holding steady at about 90 psi. Therefore, this vehicle appears that it will pass the combination or system leak test. At that point, he's going to tell you to move on. So now I'm going to do my fan down 1. I still have enough pressure to move on. So I'm going to energize the system. I'm going to pump on the brakes till I get my light comes on and my buzzer sound comes on, and that should happen before 60 psi. At about 70 psi, my buzzer and light came on, therefore fan down 1 is passed its test. Now I'm going to de-energize the system, and I'm going to continue fanning down the brakes till my emergency spring brake pops out, followed by my parking spring brake, in that order to help prevent a jackknife. And this should happen between 20 and 40 psi. Okay, my emergency spring brake popped out, followed by my parking spring brake at 25 psi, therefore it's past fan down 2. Now we're going to do a safe start again. I'm going to double check my parking spring brake, double check my emergency spring brake, clutch in with the vehicle in neutral, and do a safe start. Take my foot off nice and easy off the clutch. Alright? Now at this point he will tell you to go ahead and finish your in-cab check. This is where you're going to do your gauges and check all your stuff. What I suggest, make a circle. Get yourself in a rhythm or do a flow. So I start with the oil pressure. Move on to the water. You're going to do your bolts. Then my ABS light came on and went off when I did my safe start. You have your primary air gauge and your secondary air gauge. Okay? Then you would move on to your wipers and washers. When you do your wipers and washers, you can talk about your windshield and your mirrors. If you forget it, don't worry about it. Then you can move to your lights. Turn your light switch up. That gives you your low beams. Then your high beams, if you did your